Hey guys, how are you guys doing tonight? Um, come on in, come on in. I don't know what is really going on with my other phone, but for some reason, my other phone is acting crazy, not letting me go live. But hey, we're here. We are here. So let me see
very little substance.
if I can get.
But then when pressed on it, he's an armchair tough guy. I hate to say it.
This other, let me see if I can go live on this other. For some reason, it's just acting all kind of crazy, topsy-turvy, doing all things. Okay, okay. But anyway, so I'm here. I'm on my other phone. Hi, how are you guys doing? How are you all doing? Welcome to this week's edition of Let's Talk. Welcome to this week's edition of Let's Talk. Mr. Jackson, can you try it again? I got you. I'm trying to get you in here. So try it again. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with these phones, this Facebook. They tripping tonight. They are really, really tripping hard tonight. So your girl is trying to see what is what with the phones. Welcome everybody. I am so glad to see all you guys. So we just gonna work from this phone right here, and then we'll just do it like that. Hey, that's okay. That's okay. It don't matter. We're still here. So we gonna work like this. The devil wants us to be defeated, but we will not be defeated. Hello, Mr. Jackson. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, Mr. Booth. How you doing? You want to come into our okay. I was just gonna say we had different things, but anyway, okay, guys. The devil has just tried to get at this discussion. He don't want us to have it, but we're gonna have it tonight. We're gonna have it. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me see if I can at least see you somewhere, Mr. Jackson. Let's see if I can pull us up here. Cause I'm just everything doing crazy. To the same, we had different things. Okay. All right. So yeah, good. I see you up there. All right. So let's get started. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Let's Talk. Of course, I'm your host, Juju, coming to you guys live from my living room tonight. Let's Talk is produced by my dear brother and friend. Hello, Mr. Jackson. How are you doing, Mr. Jackson? I don't know if I've spoken to you this weekend.
You have
Where
not.
you been? Okay.
You have not, but it's okay.
It is okay. You're right. It's okay. All right. So this is just a reminder that this isn't, and I have to do a very big reminder tonight. This isn't intended to be a news show, you guys, but we're going to do our best to give you the truth as we know it, give you the facts as we know it. We're going to steer clear of gossip and things that are knowingly untrue. Mr. Jackson, what happened to you? It is my sincere hope that everyone finds this a comfortable, safe place where you can express your opinions, you can comment, you can ask your questions, and you can voice your opinions. But anyway, so tonight we're going to talk about, tonight is the 70th day of the Trump administration. So we're going to talk about these first 70 days. And with all the executive orders, all the department closures, the attempts to silence freedom of speech with suits against different broadcasting companies and news organizations, with the firing of so many federal employees, and the blatant attempt to grab as much power as possible by this executive branch of government. I know everyone is in information overload, because that is what we're hearing. We're hearing things that just coming at us nonstop. So, but that is exactly what this administration wants. They want to overwhelm us. They want us to say, okay, oh my God, it's so much going on. I don't know what to do with any of it, so I'm just going to shut down. But that is the last thing that we can do. In this democracy, the people still ultimately have the power, unless we choose to give it up. So we are at an inflection point where we can decide whether or not we are willing to fight for our freedom, fight for our rights, fight for our democracy. The fight for democracy. Our ancestors fought hard to gain rights and freedoms in this country, and our generation has had it rather easy. But now we have entered into the freedom others fought for. But now it's our time. It's our time. We're going to have to fight. So what are we going to do? Are we going to sit by and allow our rights to be stripped away from us one by one, or are we going to stand up and fight? That is the question each of us have to ask ourselves. Are we willing to fight? Are we willing to endure like our ancestors did? I think back to Moses as the children were um, leaving Egypt, and they thought they were free of Pharaoh. Then the next thing you know, here come Pharaoh with his mighty army, his horses and his chariots, chasing behind them, seeking to enslave them once again, seeking to take them back where they had just been delivered from. And the Lord told Moses, what are you crying for? What are you doing? Move the people forward. We have to move forward. There is no choice for us to go back. And there is no choice for us to get in the middle of our wilderness and cry and moan and complain. Because if we do that, then we'll end up just like the children of Israel. We will die in our wilderness. No, we got to move forward, and we got to be willing to fight. The battle is not ours. It belongs to the Lord, but we must be willing to fight. All righty, so we're going to start out today. I just really want this to be a conversation. And Mr. Jackson, I guess you're coming back. You done left me. But I really want this to be a conversation for us, and I want all of us to engage in this conversation. I thank you all for joining. This is an important conversation. So right now, before we get started, right now, I want everyone to stop, do two things for me. Please like this video. That gets our algorithms up, that lets other people see it, and share this video. Click the little arrow button, the little man with the little arrow going like this. That's to share. That lets others know, because we need to give as many people as possible this knowledge. Knowledge is indeed power, and right now we need this knowledge. For the lack of knowledge, my people perish. So we want to share these things, what's really going on, what's really happening. So if you guys would please like and share this video. Okay, so our first question tonight is, today is the 70th day of the Trump administration. Do you personally, on a personal level, approve of the job that the administration is doing? Do you approve of the job that the Trump administration is doing in these first 70 days? We know all the promises that were made. We know all the complaints that were made, all the accusations that were thrown at the Democratic Party and at Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. We know the promises that Trump made about the economy, about prices, about our groceries, about everything that was going on. So my question for you tonight is, do you approve of the job that the administration is doing? I see one comment from Tiffany Williams. She says, hell no. Starlet Calloway, Ford Calloway says, no, I do not. Anyone else? Is there anyone out there who approves of the job? Because we're not here to judge. We're here to have a conversation, and we're here to listen. I was talking to my sister today, and she was talking about the importance of listening to other people's point of view. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with you. But in order for us to get anywhere, we have to be willing to listen to other people's point of view. So, do you approve of the current administration, the job that they're doing currently? Mr. Jackson, where are you? Althea Thomas says, no, ma'am. Anybody else out there want to comment? Do you approve on the job that the current administration is doing? All righty then. So, I want everyone to be engaged in this conversation. I know some people are sometimes a little timid about saying things, but this is not a time to be timid. This is not a time to be timid. We are, Zan Davis says, no, ma'am. We are in a situation that is do or die, very urgent. So we cannot afford to sit back, put our heads in the sand. We cannot afford to let others fight for us. We cannot afford to throw rocks and hide our hands. We got to be willing to stand tall and boldly push against this if we are not satisfied with what's going on. So Andrew Page said no. Zan Davis says no, ma'am. All righty. So let me ask you guys this question. Tiffany says it's going to take boldness. Yes, it is going to take boldness. And it's going to take some of us getting out of our comfort zone. A lot of us are accustomed to others doing it. They're going to do it for me. But we're going to have to, it's going to take us getting out of that comfort zone to make sure that in order for us to fight this fight and win this battle. Silence is acceptance. Exactly, Jasmine. Okay, so Mr. Jackson, thank you for coming back.
It's very, Facebook is having a fit tonight. I don't know what it is.
I know it. It just, but that's all right. We're going to go on anyway. We're going to move the people forward. So the next question is, who do you think is actually running the government? Do you think it's Musk or Trump, the Heritage Foundation, or a combination? You know, I was watching Trump a couple of times this week, and they were asking him about things that were going on in the government, and he was like, I don't know. I don't know. And it was honestly, he did not know. And so it made me realize that he is not in control. He is just a puppet, or it made me feel that way. What do you think? Mr. Jackson, what do you think?
Well, I was really giving it some thought. when I was looking at some information, and um, what happened?
Huh?
It, it just told it took me off camera.
I see you.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a black screen up. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
So,
I got that black screen. I was asking somebody, is that some setting that I need to
why am I
change?
getting? I'm getting double feed.
You're getting double feed.
And um, oh my God, what in the world? What on earth?
So you can't hear or what's going on?
It's gone blank. All I do is hear you. Can you see me?
I can see you, yes.
Okay. Well, something is very. My whole. I see nothing. It's just.
Okay, well, we see your lovely face, Mr. Jackson. So just go on and talk to us. Do you have another device you can look at, and then that way you can see us? Because of course I'm looking at you on my other phone. I don't see you on this one. So what do you think about who's running the country? Okay, I guess Mr. Jackson went out and came back in. I don't know. Okay, but anyway, so I see some comments. I see. Let me see. Tiffany said money is running the country. Yeah, but money can't run the country. I mean, got to be some people behind it. Zan said Elon is running the country. Anyone with money, says Tiffany. Uh, let's see. Uh, okay. Let's see what I got here. Okay, come on now. We can't. Oh, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me? Give me a yay or a nay if you can hear me. I don't know what the heck is going on. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yay, nay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Do you hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Starlet. Okay, Starlet said yes. Okay. So, but so what y'all think uh is okay, thank you, Andrew. Okay, Tiffany. So and I know thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Troy. So I know the oligarchs have a lot of influence, but who's actually making the decisions, the final decisions? I know the oligarchs have a lot of influence, and we knew that they were going to have that influence when they did the inauguration and he was draped in the billionaires. So, but who is actually making the decisions? Um, and I have to agree with you, Zan. Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, thank you for joining me. And so, Starlet says she thinks Elon is making the decisions. I think he's making a lot of the decisions, but I also think that um, individuals from the Heritage Foundation are really making the decision because all of the things that are being done are taken directly from their playbook. This is everything that's been done is directly laid out in Project 2025, and that is the Heritage Foundation's playbook. Tiffany says Elon definitely has the final say. I think he runs around with his chainsaw wielding what he feels like is power, but I do believe that the Heritage Foundation are actually the ones. This is their blueprint. So anyway, all righty. So do you think that we are heading towards a constitutional crisis? Or do you all think that we're already in a constitutional crisis? What do you all think? A constitutional crisis where the crisis, the Constitution is literally being challenged. Mr. Jackson, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Do you think that we are in a constitutional crisis already, or do you think we're headed towards one? What's your opinion about a constitutional crisis?
Well, we're already there. All of the basic rights, no regard for humanity, no regard for nothing except for the rights of the people that are in control. You got to,
Mhm.
it's just, we're about to, I mean, this dictatorship mentality is really in line for what they want to do based upon the Heritage Foundation's information, and we're there now. So we cannot be silent, but we're there.
Yes, yes. And I agree. I think we're in a constitutional crisis. And I think the fact that Congress has ceded their authority to Donald Trump, they're so afraid of perhaps losing their position or power that they have given away the power that they're afraid that they're going to lose. They have already given it away and they don't even realize it. That's the thing that's funny about it. You have already given that power. You have given it over to Donald Trump. You have given it over to the executive branch because you're so afraid that he may challenge you or put someone up to run against you and you lose your position. But you're just holding the position, just holding the seat because you have no authority. You have already ceded that authority. Um, right, they're no longer equal parts of the government because the Congress has ceded their position there, and they're supposed to be Article One. They're supposed to be the way the Constitution is designed. The Congress, which is supposed to be direct representatives of the people, are supposed to have the most power. They're supposed to be more powerful than the executive branch, but they have given over that power to the executive branch. And of course, the courts on the lower level are fighting as hard as they can. Of course, the executive branch is fighting against them as hard as they can, down to ignoring their orders, the court orders that the court is putting out there. They're completely ignoring some of them in hope that these things will make it up to the Supreme Court because they feel that the Supreme Court is on their side. And I'm sure they have conversations with the justices and getting their stance before they even put these things up before the Supreme Court. And we know that Donald Trump did walk into the his State of the Union address and thank Chief Justice John Roberts. Thank him in advance, I guess, for what he felt like he was going to do. Mr. Jackson, comments? You want to look at some of the comments that we have?
Well, I think you've covered the most of them, but Jasmine has said there are three branches of government in a democracy. Down with fascism. And I totally agree. Um, and I guess we will get into that a little bit later. Um, we're hearing of all the protests and all of the public outcry and how many people are going to town halls and really protesting against their local, whether national leaders, and it seems to be falling on deaf ears. What I have noticed that the Orange Imbecile and all of his cronies are doing, they're saying the same message across the board.
Oh
So,
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's a unified message. Yes, it's a unified
and
message. And
and
it's a message that should concern
yeah,
all of us.
it's
Mhm.
very concerning. It's very concerning because, it's not so much of we told you so. We've got to get past that we told you so, and now we got to get boots on the ground, and we've got to figure out how to um, maneuver in this oligarchy, this mess that they have placed us in, and we're going to have to put boots on the ground. We're doing all the line dancing to boots on the ground, and we've got to be strategic. I mean, we don't
We
want.
do have to be strategic, and that's one thing about the Democratic Party. They're not as strategic as they should be because it's the big tent party, and you have so many different silos, so many different people who have their specific interests that they're pushing until it's hard to bring them all together. But the Democrat Party is going to have to unify because it's going to take them being united, a united front to resist this attempt to take over our government. Um, and it's moving right along very quickly. What executive orders or laws or actions that the administrative have taken? What are the actions that concern you guys the most? What are, it's just been all over the entire spectrum, but what are the ones that concern you as an individual the most? I will tell you personally, I'm concerned about a lot of things, but I see these first, the executive orders, the lawsuits against the news media. That's an attempt to shut them down, to keep us, the people, from knowing the truth, hearing the truth, getting the facts. I can't remember the outlet that's the national outlet, The Voice or One Voice. I can't remember what it is, but it is the one that's broadcast internationally across all countries, and they're closing that down so that not only are we not, they're trying to stop us in America from knowing the truth about what's going on here in this country, but those abroad. And then the other one, my second one that I'm most concerned about is the executive orders against the big major law firms, because those are the ones that will fight for our democracy. And if you can get them to not fight, to say, okay, I'm going to enter in some kind of agreement with you. Of course, the agreement will include, I'm not going to be taking you to court for all this illegal stuff you're doing. You silence those voices, those very important voices, that when you are attempting to silence the voices of anyone that has an opinion differ from you, Voice of America, that's it out there. When you have attempt to silence people who are who has an opinion different from yours, that is very dangerous. Mr. Jackson, what do you think? And guys, y'all tell me what's what's most troubling to you.
Well, I posted something in reference to what you just spoke about, the executive orders against the large law firms. But my biggest
Mhm.
concern is Doge access to government payment systems.
Mhm.
Um, when the Trump administration granted Elon Musk the access to sensitive payment and data systems, um, the Treasury Department, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, that was very, very alarming to me because
Mhm.
that's sensitive data. And Elon Musk is not even an elected official, should not have any access to no one's personal and private and financial information, but that's very alarming. However, Congressman Cohen is really, really fighting very hard. He was one of the first co-sponsors of the Taxpayer Data Protection Act, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a bill to lock Elon Musk and Doge out of America's most sensitive data systems. We still have a lot of fight on our hand. There are a lot of litigation, a lot of lawsuits being submitted, and it's being fought in the court. And just as you said, the Trump administration is hoping that they will continue to up it onto the Supreme Court, where they know that they will get a favorable um, rating and response. And that's very disappointing. There's another one that I'm very, very concerned about is the ending of birthright citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that is very, very concerning
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because uh, for years, if you were born in the United States, whether you came from an immigrant, what have you, you were a natural born citizen. And it's very unfortunate that they're trying to revoke that right and keep. The bottom line is the Trump administration is trying to um, get rid of minorities. They're trying to put in place to where they can make their race the majority. They're in an uproar. They're scared because the black and brown people are taking over. There is talk that they're wanting to dismantle biracial marriages. So you know what that is. That is to stop um, the takeover and the upsurge of the minorities in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot. And if we're not um, vigilant and educated, we're going to be sucked up before we know it. And um, we'll talk about some of that a little bit later. But those are my concerns. I've got several, and
Okay.
I'll add to them a little bit later.
Okay. Anybody else there out there?
I,
What are your major concerns? But I listen. Do you have some comments?
I don't have any because
Okay.
I've been tearing up the chat myself, and I'm sure I don't want to take over. We really want to hear from our listeners. What are
Yeah.
some of your
We
concerns?
really want to hear from our listeners, but I hear you. I hear your concerns, Mr. Jackson, and as you're expressing them, I realize that, and all of those are lawsuits. But if you stop all the large law firms from fighting, if you have executive orders, if you make all of them enter into agreements with you, that
Right.
is how
We've got,
you
but-
that is how you prevent that stuff from that is how you prevent those things from being combated in
right.
the
Okay.
legal system.
We've got a comment
Okay.
from our president of the National Realtors Association. People are losing their jobs, healthcare rolling back segregation, funding, especially in the mental health areas. That is a concern of Ms. Sandra Davis.
Yeah. And she said it's truly a lot, and it really is. It really is. And that is their point. They want to overwhelm the court systems. They want to overwhelm um, the us at large. They want to just put so much out there, and then they're steady while we're looking over here. They're over here doing something else that's underhanded. It is something that we guys have really got to be vigilant. And the thing about it is, it's not enough to see something. We got to say something. We got to
We,
do something.
we got to be.
Uh-huh.
Then there's another comment from a comment of housing. That's a concern of this administration, and I'm sure, although it was an ambiguous term, housing, I'm sure it's fair housing, affordable housing is, um,
Mm-hmm.
and just having the ability to get housing, and with the tariffs. everything is going to substantially rise in price, and it's going to be out of reach. And what
Mhm.
is affordable housing?
And
Well,
even Mr. Jackson, when you were looking at, they want to get rid of HUD. They want
yes,
to get rid of, and so that is not just people's ability to purchase house, which is bad enough, but people ability to even afford rent, to even pay your rent, or to get rental assistance. So it's housing across the board. So it is an attack really on lower and middle income people, not just people of color, not just minorities, but it is an attack on people that are not the wealthiest, the most wealthy. They want a government for, of, and by the most wealthy, not for the people, of the people, and by the people, but the people that are the most wealthy. Um, and so that is what we're up against.
we
Um,
have we have another comment
okay,
from Jasmine Hayes. She says, I'm
okay.
concerned with all of it, but it is especially very concerning that everyone speaking out, which is a right, is attempted to be silenced.
Mm-hmm.
In reference to what you said, many people are trying to silence everybody, even in social media. The algorithms are specifically made to silence those that are in opposition. Um, the two of us, and we're just very, very little people, and the attacks that have been on us and trying to silence what we're doing because they recognize that we are a means to information to our people. And we've constantly being attacked every Sunday. And even when we're posting, it's not being sent out to the masses like we put it out. The algorithm is all it's screwed up, for
Mm-hmm.
lack of better terms.
Yeah,
And
and Jasmine, you are so right about people being silenced. We see these young people who have visas, student visas, permanent visas, um, uh, that are being, they're having their visas taken away by the government, and they are being taken without any due process, thrown in jail, uh, being attempting to have them deported because they are speaking out against the government, or they're speaking against something that the government is doing. And these are foreign aliens, foreigners right now, people here on visas. But I promise you, if they are, it's them today. But if they have an opportunity, it'll be us tomorrow. They will silence us. And we have some comments, Mr. Jackson.
I see them. I'm on it.
Okay, go ahead.
There is, and Jasmine again is referencing a doctoral student at the University of Alabama
Hmm.
that was detained because of their political stance. It's happening all over the country. They're detaining these college students who are in opposition and taking a stance against what's happening, and they're detaining them and trying to silence them. And the University of Alabama is in a lawsuit, has been sued by the Trump administration for awarding too many PhDs to minority Black students. And you know as well as I know, the University of Alabama is one of the uh, uh, monumental universities in the South where there's a large Black student population. And what the Trump administration is doing is targeting those universities, trying to prevent those schools from admitting and awarding scholarships to those worthy Black and Brown students. And we have another comment from Zandra Davis. We
Hmm.
need to stand together and outside of social media, standing together and literally being the boots on the ground, not just talking, but unifying together. I totally
Okay.
agree with you,
And
and that's
I
what
think, Mr.
Julia.
Jackson, you missed a couple of comments because I see some from Jasmine and Duchess that we skipped.
Well, Duchess just said that's how dictators thrive.
Hmm.
But I got Jasmine's comment in,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I'm
I'm
only
sorry.
over here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'll let you do your job out and you'll let me do mine. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Hmm.
But
Hmm.
anyway, so next question is, do you think the Democrats in Congress are doing enough to push back against this administration? And I know recently there was a lot of uproar because Chuck Schumer allowed them to keep the government open when the Democrats had an opportunity to shut the government down. Do you think that was the right move?
Okay, and
So
before
do you think,
we
okay,
okay, and before we do that, Jasmine has said to add to the branch dismantlement. Almost every one of those students' lawyers had a judge sign for them to not leave the state, and it was once again disregarded by ICE.
right. And they
Um,
took them to Los Louisiana where they felt they'd get a better judge or a better court. Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, do you think the Democrats in Congress are doing enough to push back against the administration? Do you think
Mm-hmm.
they should have allowed the government to shut down? That's the question. We're looking and wanting to hear from some of you. Um, and, while we're waiting for your comments, I was really excited to know that in Pennsylvania, the Democrats did win a seat there in a traditionally red area. And then in the state of Florida, there are two seats open, and both Democrats are leading in the polls, but we just can't depend
Yeah.
on the polls. So we've got to get on the phones and start
And
calling those people. And
and that election is Tuesday, Jerry,
yes,
and let us just differentiate between those things. In Pennsylvania, that was a state election.
yes, but
But
it's still
in
red. It was
yeah,
still red.
it was red. But what I'm saying is that was a state election and that is important. But
Yes,
these in Florida are
are
extremely
national.
important.
Yeah,
They're national seats. And if the Democratic candidate can win both these seats, Democrats can take back the House of Representatives. So
right.
we will have a branch of government to push back against Donald Trump and some of the things that he's doing. So that's what I'm trying to say. These are important, very important. So if you know anyone who is living and voting, able to vote in these districts that are up for grabs, please, please express to them the importance of them voting. If we can get these seats, then we can start to push back on this administration. So this is very important. Um,
So we got a comment.
okay.
Jackson Hayes says, I'm uneducated on the possibility of a shutdown. What would be the effects nationally of such a shutdown?
Well, now, we've had shutdowns before, but what the Democrats in the House were hoping, and a lot of national Democrats are hoping, say, okay, we're going to shut the government down unless you make some concessions, unless you come to the table and deal with us. So now Chuck Schumer was saying that if you shut the government down, then that's what the Republicans want because they don't have to open it back up. And then they can go in and they can just dismantle what they want to piece by piece and saying that close, this is not necessary. You people don't come to work because at that time when the government is shut down, then they decide what is essential. Okay, so what is an essential duty of the government? Only those essential duties of the government continue in a shutdown. So if they say, like, let's say in the last shutdown, SNAP benefits were considered essential. So people continued to receive their SNAP benefits even though the government was shut down. But they could come back and say it's not essential. They could say, oh, issuing Social Security checks is not essential. They could say, whatever they want to say is not essential. And then they just shut that down and don't have any people. And so that's what Chuck Schumer was saying. If you give them that, then you give them control to shut down the parts of the government that they want to shut down already. Right now, if you have departments like the Department of Education, they have issued a executive order that it will close, but they legally can't do that because only Congress can shut down departments. But if the government is shut down and Congress is not working, Congress is not in session, it gives the executive branch more power in the shutdown when it comes to things like that.
Okay. We've got a comment from Tiffany Williams.
Okay.
She said that they should have shut it down. It's not working anyway. And then in response, Jasmine Hayes says, what if they break off everything they want in that time in a shorter time anyway? So basically, to reiterate what you were saying, Julia, if the government is shut down, they can go in and dismantle the things that they want to dismantle at an alarming rate without any session in order.
Right. And so, it's like a no-win situation for the Democrats in that situation when it comes to the shutdown. But do you just think in general, are they pushing back as hard as they need to? Because my mindset is that they need to be flooding the zones, and they're going out now. They're doing the town halls in the places where the Republicans won't go. They're doing more of it, and I see AOC, and I see Bernie Sanders, although he's an independent, but I guess he caucused with the Democrats. They're out doing the mega town halls and pushing back. But I thought from day one they should have been flooding the news media, flooding the zones. They should have all their people out there every time you look up on television. You should have sent a Democrat telling the people what's going on. How is this going to impact you? How do you fight back as an individual? So do you all think they're pushing back as much as they should be?
We got a comment from Jasmine Hayes. She said, if that's the case, they're already trying to get rid of it piece by piece. But with the government open, at least this way, we have a fighting chance to stop it and defend it.
Okay. So, do any opinions on whether or not the Democrats are pushing back as much as they should be? Mr. Jackson, you have opinion on that?
Well, I don't, because I strategically see what they're trying to do, but I'm trying to give them grace and patience, but it's wearing very thin. And I've been writing to different senators, not just the Alabama. Well, been sending emails. I'll put it that way. I've been talking a lot with Warnock and Ossoff here in Georgia because they think like I think. But Tommy Tuberville, it's just gone unanswered. I mean,
Mhm.
there is no response whatsoever. Now, I am getting responses from Warnock and Ossoff's office, and they are fighting very diligently. And I really wanted to ask Pastor this morning at church, but it was so inappropriate when I, went through the line. I wanted to say, don't forget about me and what I sent you, but I didn't say it. But I'll get to him Tuesday night, so
Okay.
I'll have a chance to say something to him then.
Okay. And I see we have one
A
more.
comment from Justice Thomas. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Democrats are at such a disadvantage numbers wise in government right now. That is absolutely correct. And I, I agree with you. And that's more one of the reasons why we really should be screaming. And then Duchess says, we say they should be telling people what the Republicans are trying to do, but they told people what the Republicans were going to do if elected, but people elected them anyway. Now, that is 100 spot on. Here again, we told them what was going to happen. Project 2025 is out at a train wreck status. I mean, everything inside of that document, they are orchestrating it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't understand. I'm still flabbergasted why we would we would have allowed this to happen. Uh, so good point, Duchess Thomas Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Matthew,
All right.
Matthew Thomas agrees with you.
Yeah. Okay, so what can we as people, like Zandra said, okay, we know that this is a mess, this is situation critical. We're in a point of urgency right now, and 911. What can we as people, as individuals, do to push back against the administration? Because if the executive branch is gone wild, the Congress is not doing anything. We can't really trust the court, especially the Supreme Court. The really last line of defense is we the people. So what can we the people do? What
We have to
can we
do
the people
we,
do?
we have to do what we did in the 60s. We go back to the church. We get the church involved, get them to start speaking the messages and having the rallies. Just like where everything that transpired that hurt us, the church started speaking up and speaking out because the church has a direct correlation and a relationship in their community, especially the Black church. We're on every corner. So if you get all of us to start rallying and crying out, then we can start pushing back. We've got to educate the people. And the easiest place to start is in our religious organizations. Because if you look around today's time, churches are full. And we don't want to be doing political stances, but that's where the masses are. And we have to go back to what we did in the 60s and start rallying our people and getting us to start crying out and organizing rallies and understanding the protests and boycotts and all of this stuff. That's going to help us to get our voices heard. That's
Okay.
my opinion.
Okay. And so I think that we all have to do something like Zen said. And whatever your something is, everybody may not be able to go out to a rally, but you can write your, like Mr. Jackson said, write your senator, write your congressperson. We are here on Let's Talk. I wondered when I started this over a year ago, why am I doing this? Why what are you doing? And it's just recently, Lord, the Lord said for such a time as this. So gives a platform so we can kind of spread the truth, let people know what's really going on. There are the economic boycotts that are going on. We see how the boycott against Walmart has impacted their business and has they said like 7 million new Costco customers. People are moving from Sam's to Costco because of the economic boycott that has been called for against Walmart. You can participate in them. Shop minority, shop small, shop local. Um, at the end of the day, as if we support one another as a community, then we can take our talents. We are very talented. Take our time and our treasures, pour it back into the community, our own communities, our own people. And when we do that, then you hit them where it hurts. Why is Donald Trump and Elon Musk on the lawn of the White House trying to sell Teslas? Because the stock is dropping like a stone. Okay, why is the Commerce Secretary saying, okay, everybody should invest in this Tesla stock? Because the stock prices is dropping like crazy. So we have the power if there's the economic boycotts. Um, we have the power to do that. And then there are boycotts as far as um, coming out to the town halls, coming out to the protest, making sure that you protest legally and peacefully. We're not calling for anything that's illegal or anything that's going to cause trouble, because they want us to be rioting in the streets so they can call for martial law. So we don't want to do that, but we do want to protest peacefully. Go out town halls, ask the tough questions, demand answers to the tough questions. And
That's the
those are
point.
some of the things that we can do. Go ahead, Mr. Jack.
Thank you. Um, President Zandra Davis just informed us that NARAB has signed a wonderful agreement with the National Baptist Convention, and that's access to over 7 million people. There is power in numbers, and our Black dollars do matter. And I'm so thankful for NARAB. They also have MOUs with Greek organizations as well, and that's a huge population. Jasmine says the power of the people is greater than the people in power. It is time to stand up and unify. Thank you, Zandra. Thank you, Jasmine. And I did see a comment in from Tiffany Williams. She said that she moved her membership over to Costco, and Jasmine posted on April 5th is National Handoff Protest. Your voice is heard. So there will be a large amount of protests on April 5th. And they will be in different states, cities, and from federal agencies. That is a time, and I totally agree. It is time to stand up and unify.
And so, before we wrap this up, because we're at time, I want to. It is National Women's Month, and so I got to stop and shout out the powerful women in my life. There are many, but I have to shout out my two special ones, and that is Althea Ashford and Joyce Duchess Thomas. Those are my sisters. Those are my rocks. First of all, those are two women of God. They love God, and they try to do the master's will. They are strong women. They are independent women. They are beautiful on the inside, beautiful on the outside. They are both great mothers, and they are the best sisters anyone could ever ask for. So I have to shout them out. I love you guys so much. You all know that you are my strength. You are my rocks. You are my examples, and I could not have had two better examples than you. You are perfect examples for your daughters and for my nieces. I also want to shout out my nieces. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I have Kirsten, Jolisha, Adriel, Jordan, and of course my little Journey Huffy Puff. So I want to just shout out all of these fabulous women. I love you guys so much. You are God's greatest gift to me beyond salvation. Thank you. I love you. All right, Mr. Jackson, announcements.
Well, before my announcement, honey, I can't let you get away with all of that. I love what you said, but I would be remiss if I did not pay homage to a wonderful woman in my life, and that is my sister, Pamela Ann Jackson Hill. That is my rock. I tell you, we are like, we're thick as thieves. We're like, I mean, the icing on the cake. She has been phenomenal to me. She was very instrumental in saving my life in a time of stress when I was about to commit suicide. And God gave me a sister because it was six boys of us, and we were just hoping and praying when mother had a baby that it was a sister. And I can remember my daddy said I just jumped around on Channel Line and said, "Oh, we got a sister," and I was just jumping up. And that is my best friend besides my mother. Um, and I'm very thankful to what she does and how she's a wonderful parent and a new nana now, as I forgot what she calls herself. I don't think she's nana, but I'm just very thankful because she helps keep me in line and is so helps me to be sane, and I love her with all of the fiber inside of my body. So thank you, my sister Pamela Ann Jackson, as we always said, Pamela Ann, not Pamela Ann, Pamela Ann. We run it together. So yeah, so here are the
Wait
announcements.
a minute, Mr.
Thank you.
Jackson. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you go, but I forgot one of my babies, Christian Duchess Williams. I'm sorry, Christian. I love you. You know, Juju. Sorry. Go ahead now.
Yes. Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. All right, so here are the announcements. So next Sunday, April 6th, we're going to be talking about online dating. On the 13th, we're going to be talking about the rise of Nazism in Germany. And on the 20th, we're going to let you have a day off because it is Happy Resurrection Sunday. There will be no show. And we want to remind you that we're continuing our fasting, praying, and alms giving during these 40 days of Lent. Please make sure that you include this nation, our government, and those in positions of power in our country in your prayers daily. As we uh, approach the end of March, we have been celebrating the Women's History Month. It is Women's History, Her Story. So please do not forget to celebrate the amazing women in your life. Send them a card or just give them a call or send them a text and tell them how much you appreciate them. And remember, the 40-day Target fast is continuing. We ask that you refrain from shopping Target until Resurrection Sunday. April 5th, Saturday, 9 to 11, is Hands Off Auburn Opelika Fights Back. That will be located on the sidewalk of Andrews Federal Building, located at 701 Avenue A, Opelika, Alabama. And I have posted the link in the chat. On April 7th through the 14th of 2025, there will be a Walmart spending blackout. We are asked to refrain from shopping at Walmart, Sam's, Walmart Online, or any Walmart affiliates during this time period. Also, on Friday, April 18th, there will be a total economic blackout, which means no shopping, period, point blank. We also ask that you continue to like, follow, and share R. Dean Thomas on Facebook. This is something I'm really proud of. On Saturday, June 28th, 2025, at the historic St. Luke AME Church in Opelika, we will have our annual Juneteenth celebration. The theme for this year is From Chains to Change, Honoring Freedom and Embracing Inclusion. The event will be held on the campus of the historic St. Luke Church from 4 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. And we are currently seeking vendors, sponsors, and entertainment. Anyone who is interested or knows someone that we may reach out to participate, please don't hesitate to contact Julia R. Dean Thomas, Joyce Duchess Thomas Vincent, or Jerry L. Jackson, me. Stay tuned for additional information. Also, for all of your Mary Kay needs, we ask that you contact the independent sales consultant, Joyce Thomas Vinson, for all of your Mary Kay needs. Don't forget to subscribe to the Divinely Guided podcast on YouTube. That is a wonderful show that is hosted by the dynamic duo of the mother-daughter team of Duchess Thomas and Adriel Vincent, and it drops every Monday evening at about 6 o'clock p.m. And the link has been posted in the chat. We ask that you continue to subscribe to Juju's Dollhouse YouTube channel. You'll be able to keep up with everything going on with By Juju for you and have any additions of Let's Talk that you may have missed. The link is posted in the chat. And finally, By Juju for You is a proud sponsor of Hold Up the Light Huddle. Now, back to you, Juju.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jackson, for all those announcements. I just want to reiterate the one, hands off the protest that will be here in Opelika on Saturday, this Saturday, April the 5th, from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. It will be in front of the Andrews Federal Building. The link that Mr. Jackson has posted, you go on that link and you register for this event. And this is just a way, like I said, a peaceful protest, just a way to say, stop. Don't touch our Social Security. Don't touch our Department of Education. Don't touch our Medicaid. We won't. Don't stop trying to strip away our freedoms. Stop trying to silence our voice. Hands off. This is a way. We want to know what we can do, how we can get boots on the ground. This is a way to get boots on the ground. So I pray that some of you guys will come out on Saturday. I have signed myself up. I have never been to a protest before, but Juju's going to be on the ground on Saturday. I pray that some of you guys will join us there. This is one way we can get involved and we can push back against this aggressive, dictatorial administration that's trying to move us from a democracy to a dictatorship. So that's this Saturday. Hope to see you, some of you guys out there. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining us. This has been a great discussion. Just one of many. We will come back and revisit this, and hopefully we'll have other individuals to come in and to speak with us about what we can do to help fight back against this attempt to take over our government. And in the meantime, remember to support one another. Shop local, shop small, shop minority businesses. Make it your business. Be intentional about who you give your hard-earned dollars to. That is a way that you can definitely push back. Everybody can do that. So anyway, I am Juju. I am that mountain moving giant slayer. This girl is walking by faith. She's inspiring hope, and she is showing love all along the way. And so until next time, I wish each and every one of you Much love and many blessings. Keep praying. God got us. Good night. Love you.